All right, how's everybody doing? We're looking at Wednesday Bible study. Let's continue on. And we're looking at Daniel's prayer. I hope y'all don't mind me continuing in the New Living Translation with this. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, listen and act for your own sake. Do not delay. Oh my God, for your people and your city bear your name. I wonder how this reads in the King James. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake. Wow, he really did say that, didn't he? Oh my God, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. Literally, he said, like, well, for your own sake, Lord. But what is he really saying? He's saying, Lord, your glory comes through your people, through their death. Yeah. Why did he die in the flesh? Why were all the apostles killed, martyred, murdered? It was to give God glory. Through their testimony, they received death in this wicked body, but they received that eternal life. And that's why it says you must hate even your own life to be his disciple. Hate your mother, your father, your children, your grandchildren, brothers, sisters, whatever. Hate them all. It's not an emotional hatred, but it's to hate on them. You cannot be their friends, buddies, pals, communing with them if they're living the pagan lifestyle. In 2020, 99.999% are. So it's a pretty lonely world out there. Now we're going to get into something new. Gabriel's message about the anointed one. I went on praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, pleading with the Lord, my God, for Jerusalem, his holy mountain. As I was praying, Gabriel, whom I had seen in the earlier vision, came swiftly to me at the time of the evening sacrifice. He explained to me, Daniel, I have come here to give you insight and understanding. The moment you began praying, a command was given. Now, keep in mind, the Bible is written as if it's cause and effect. It is not. Daniel was what? Well, in the beginning was the Word was with God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So the Word was already written, wasn't it? And Jesus is the Word. And Jesus was from the beginning, and the Word. So remember, for he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So he knew every one of his sheep before the world began. Daniel, like we went over yesterday, Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning, everything's been declared, that Daniel was commanded. Daniel had no choice to make that prayer. It was put in Daniel's heart to make that prayer. And then as soon as Daniel began praying, the angel Gabriel is saying a command was then given. So please understand that's how the Bible works. If not, you're just sitting around falling into that free will trap all the time. Oh, because Daniel did this, then God did. No, no. That's Catholicism, which is now running all of your so-called Protestant religions. I don't even like to use the word Protestant anymore because they're all celebrating Christmas. They're all talking about free will. I like to just say protesters, which is what Protestant was supposed to stand for. Well, there's nobody protesting anymore. They're like, well, we don't pray to Mary here at our Baptist church. Yeah, but you don't y'all all celebrate Mary's holiday? Because Mary is nothing more than the female goddess, a Lucifer, queen of the universe, queen of heaven. She's the tree goddess, grove worship. Do not learn the way of the heathen. Cut the tree from the forest with the axe. Well, workman hammers it with nails that it does not move, decks it with silver and gold. That was in Jeremiah. So, yeah, long story, right? So, The moment you began praying, a command was given, and now I am here to tell you what it was. For you are very precious to God. Exactly. Daniel was known before Adam and Eve did their thing. Daniel already was. He just wasn't born yet. Because Adam and Eve were there after the earth was formed. Well, that's why we easily explain away the false translation of John 3:16. According as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. And that particular world, we have to use the proper definition. Cosmos. Before the circle of the earth, the earth. For God so loved, which is John 3:16. The Catholic Erasmus, of course, chose that one, but we know it to be his appropriate harmonious arrangement, his order of things. That's what he loved. He loved the arrangement of his sheep. When was that? Before the foundation of the world. Because how else do we know that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Jesus said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which is the church. Israel is the church, and the church is Israel. How do we know that? Well, I'm glad you asked. The church receiving the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai, called the church. This is he that was in the church. G 1577. Israelites, Christians. It's both. You've got, remember, we're grafted in Jews. Grafted in Jews, Bible verse. It's Romans 11. Ephesians 2. Ephesians 3. What does it mean that the church has been grafted in Israel? Romans 11, Acts 3, Matthew 11. 100 Bible verses about graft. The church is Israel, and Israel is the church. It's no longer that land over there. That's all been fulfilled in Galatians 3, 3:16 and Galatians 3:29. Listen carefully so that you can understand the meaning of your vision. A period of 70 sets of 7 has been decreed for your people and your holy city to finish their rebellion, finish their appointed rebellion. Because without their quote unquote rebellion, then there would be only Jewish bloodline lineage people that would be sheep, church, Israel. Nobody. There would have never been the grafted in Gentile blood. To put an end to their sin, to atone for their guilt, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to confirm the prophetic vision, and to anoint the most holy place. Now listen and understand, 7 sets of 7 plus 62 sets of 7 will pass from the time the command is given to rebuild Jerusalem until a ruler, the anointed one, comes. Jerusalem will be rebuilt with streets and strong defenses despite the perilous times. Moving on to Luke. And they were the more fierce, saying, He stirreth up the people, teaching all throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place. When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean. And as soon as he knew that he belonged unto Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself also was at Jerusalem at the time. And when Herod saw Jesus, he was exceedingly glad, for he was desirous to see him for a long season, because he had heard many things about him and had hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Then he questioned with him many words, but he answered him nothing. And the chief priest and the scribes stood vehemently accused him. Did I say the right word there? And Herod and his men of war set him at naught, mocked him. Let me go and just read this, rest of this. We'll go New Living with this also. And you know why? Because I know this is going to be written in line. They're not going to stray off. He asked Jesus question after question, but Jesus refused to answer. Meanwhile, the leading priests and the teachers of religious law stood there shouting their accusations. Then Herod and his soldiers began mocking and ridiculing Jesus. Finally, they put a royal robe on him and sent him back to Pilate. Herod and Pilate, who had been enemies before, became friends that day. Then Pilate called together the leading priests and other religious leaders along with the people, and he announced his verdict. You brought this man to me, accusing him of leading a revolt. I have examined him thoroughly on this point in your presence and find him innocent. All right. Love you very much.